Sunday might be a really rare day in some of our fandom when it comes to the Cleveland Browns, where we enter a division game against the Baltimore Ravens, who we all just cannot stand for one reason or another. But we walk into this game with a lot of importance, a chance to go 3-1 heading into the bye, continued better for Deshaun Watson. But there's something to be said about exercising some demons. I just thought of The Exorcist. 'Tis the season, Ryan. Exorcist, great flick. But you got to exercise some of those because we have played for a long time in a division against opponents that have just taken it to us. Ben Roethlisberger's record against us, Baltimore, all of that kind of stuff. But I sit here today gearing up and getting ready for a Browns-Ravens game down at, I almost said First Energy Stadium again, Cleveland Browns Stadium, where I think something is a little different than it's been in the past. And I don't think this is fake. I don't think this is phony. I think it's real that today the Cleveland Browns might be the best team in the division. And that's crazy to say with a former MVP. That's crazy to say with Joe Burrow. It's the Steelers division for a long time, but I don't think that's the case anymore. We got to talk about that. Nobody saw Dame Lillard getting traded yesterday, especially to where he went. What's the impact on the Cavs? And we say thank you to Terry Francona. I was glad the guys got a win for him on his last home game. We cash our Tipico bet. That's how you start a Thursday right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Great job, boys. Tipico cashed. Bieber. Little filth out of Shane Bieber last night.
Never a doubt, man.
I loved it. We had a boost on with our friends at Tipico. Was it 5 strikeouts and a win?
I think it was 6. 5. I think it was 5.5.
Okay, so he got it because he got 7, so it wasn't even close. So we had a little boost there with Tipico. Cashed that last night. Guards get the win. We'll get to our Thursday night football plays a little bit later. Debuting a brand new segment this morning. Ryan, our show's not even a month old, which is crazy to say. But we're, adding some new things here and there. So we'll do a little True or False Thursday. We'll get to that coming up at 9:45. We got the morning update. And as always, we'll get to a very important time hop in hour number 2. Happy to have along with us this morning. What did I say? I said I was going to start everything with good morning to everybody out there. It is a fantastic, beautiful morning. Got a little rain. Lawn needed that. It's grass planting season, Ryan.
Okay, I'm not old enough yet to appreciate that.
Well, what do you mean by that? No, everybody can appreciate it.
Once I get my own lawn.
I'm going to get my white New Balances on, go out there, spread a little grass seed. You got to wait till October 1st. Get your grass seed down. I got a mix if you need it. A little Kentucky bluegrass, a little perennial rye. Get that down, get that lawn nice and healthy.
I'm going to need to see a picture one day, Matt, of your lawn.
Oh, I'll tell you this. One of my proudest things about my house, I'll show you a picture of what my lawn looked like when we bought the house and then what it looks like today. We did a full lawn tear out at the Fontana complex over there in West Park. The entire backyard, my brothers and I all one day rented a sod cutter on a whim, too. I texted my brothers at like noon. I was like, what are you guys doing today? You want to tear my lawn out? We worked till like 8:30 at night tearing our lawn out. But it is the season. Good morning to everybody. Happy to have along here on Big Play. Check us out on Twitter at Matt Fontana Show. We're on YouTube at Matt Fontana Show. And, of course, across streaming platforms and iHeart. Know that. Download it. Take it with you wherever you're going and search Big Play in the iHeart app. Got a lot to get to here on a Thursday. We do start with the Browns. And I think, Ryan, I thought about this a little yesterday as I stare at the Ravens and I see that their injury report is pretty full. And the Browns, very thankfully, are pretty clean. Greg Newsome, good news from Kevin Stefanski yesterday, said that Newsome was close to playing this past weekend, didn't. So I would assume he's good to go for Sunday, and then you got your bye week to kind of, get a little healthy. I say that in relative. We know we're missing Jack Conklin and Nick Chubb. Those are 2 massive injuries. But when you flip it over to the Ravens, yeah, Tyler Linderbaum and Ronnie Stanley, 2 of their offensive linemen, practiced yesterday. But they were missing guys left and right, especially on that defensive side of the football yesterday.
Did I see Kyle Hamilton pop up on that report?
Hamilton popped up on there.
Huge.
I mean, it's just their DBs, like their corners, they're missing some players. Owe is still injured. We know Odell Beckham, Rashad Bateman got hurt in that. I mean, I look at it from this. It's either sometimes you get the injuries that are like Nick Chubb or Jack Conklin, where they're minimal from a number standpoint, but the impact is felt greater. Conversely, you could have kind of what the Ravens have, where they have impactful injuries, but they also have a lot of them. And I want to pull. So Gus Edwards did have a full practice. He's battling a concussion. Here is the full injury report for the Baltimore Ravens yesterday. Full practice for Gus Edwards coming off the concussion, so you're probably getting him with Justice Hill in the backfield. Limited, Ronnie Stanley, Tyler Linderbaum, and Marcus Williams, their starting safety. Did not practice Odell Beckham and Rashad Bateman, wide receivers. Kyle Hamilton, the aforementioned, with a back injury. Justice Hill, the other side of that running back tandem. Marlon Humphrey, their starting corner. David Ajabo, pass rusher, and Owe, their other pass rusher. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 starters, and I'll give you 7 if you want to split carries with Justice Hill. Didn't practice. Am I waving a flag saying, oh my God, they didn't practice on a Wednesday, they're not going to make it till Sunday? Well, not, of course. I mean, these guys, could come out limited today and head into Friday and get ready to go for Sunday. We know that injuries are not always just black and white if they're going to play or not. But I see that. And then even just in the scope of how the Ravens have played. And this will be a bigger question because it's not just the Ravens or the Browns, but it's the division. And we know what Cincinnati's dealing with. You see what Joe Burrow said?
I didn't.
He's reaching out to Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I did see that.
For how to deal with a calf injury. Are you sure? Did you know what happened to Aaron Rodgers? I mean, it's got a calf, but torn Achilles. Don't the doctors you're reaching out to Aaron? You got some of that ayahuasca.
I was gonna say maybe he's looking for more holistic methods that the NFL wouldn't approve of.
When the chips are down, man, you got to do whatever you can to get back on the field.
Exactly.
You ever see the movie The Little Giants?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, great movie. Great movie. Rick Moranis. But the dad, he's got Spike Hammersmith as like their starting running back, and his dad, he's like baby Gronk. His dad just wants him to play pro football. Yeah. And it's like every night I massage his hamstrings with evaporated milk. And it's just like something weird. Like, is that what Joe Burrow's going to be doing? Just massaging his calf with evaporated milk or mixing a little ayahuasca or something
little
like that.
Mr. Miyagi magic?
I mean, that tells you that, he thinks that this is, it's mental as much physical for Joe Burrow because he knows that the calf is limiting him and they're going to try to do everything they can to get him right for the rest of the season. And then we see the Steelers and you're like, okay, fine. I truly sit here and I think a win Sunday will vindicate this. But the Browns are the best team in the division right now. When's the last time I've been able to say that? I think it's real because you have the best defense in football right now. You can't make that case against anybody, which is funny because what has ruled this division for so long? Defense. People always talk about the AFC North and the Ravens and the Steelers and what defense we bring. Well, the Browns have the best in football, so nobody can make that case. You want to flip over to offense. Sure, Joe Burrow, he's not Joe Burrow right now. He is not. Lamar Jackson, still very good. Still somebody you got to worry about Sunday. The Browns have seemed to have his number, and if they want to continue to run him as much as they are, I think that plays into the Browns' hands. Offensively, skill player position-wise, yeah, Jamar Chase is probably the best skill player non-quarterback in this division. But the Browns, even without Nick Chubb, are there. So really, I'm kind of loading this even more towards the defense to say that is something that tips us over the edge. And then, frankly, what everybody else is dealing with, injuries. I just think the Steelers aren't very good, right? Like, they're about to cut Najee Harris. Not really, but they're going to start cutting his guy. I think they're going to start getting carries to Jalen Warren more than him. So they got problems down there. You know they got problems in Cincinnati, and it's very clear and obvious that the Ravens are dealing with a lot of problems. What are the Browns' problems right now? You lost Nick Chubb. That is a big problem. I understand that. But they are finding a way through that. They are finding a way, and then when you combo it with how this defense is playing, we'll post this as our Twitter question this morning. You can follow at Matt Fontana Show. Do you believe the Browns are the best team in the AFC North right now today? Right now today. Would you say that they are the best team in the AFC North? Vote on that. We'll put that up. We'll get into some more Browns talk as we go on as well. We got to talk this Dame Lillard trade. And, of course, saying goodbye to Terry Franco in his final home game last night. But when I think about this matchup on Sunday, and Amari Cooper said this yesterday too, that it is imperative that they go into the bye week at 3-1. Because when you look at this game Sunday, Ryan, and I'm going to open up our awesome Tipico app here. Tipico, download the app, use the code BigPlay150, get your 150 in bonus bets, get some of those super boosts. Thursday Night Football, pretty little savory one tonight between the Lions and the Packers. We'll get to our vote on that, or our bets on that in just a second. It's Face ID. Every time I try to do my Face ID, the microphone gets in the way, so it doesn't log in. What I was trying to look up, Brian, is the odds for the division, because the Browns were up there, and I just wonder if they've changed it all when it comes to some of the injuries that they've had. So we go to Tipico, scroll on down to the AFC North. The Ravens and the Browns tied at plus 195.
Wow.
Right there. When's the last time the Browns, and I'm going to take this for what it is, the Browns are favored, yes, with the Ravens, but they are favored to win the division. It's happened before, I think, the Baker year or a small stretch there, but it's real to me. Like, this is real and tangible to me, that I think the Browns are the best team in the division. What I want them to do and what I need them to do is go prove it, is to go out there, and Lord, would I love some just butt whooping. Just a 37-10 demolishing of the Ravens to put a stamp on it, to just prove it to everybody. And we know expectations in this town are a hard thing because you don't live up to them, and sometimes they're fake. I don't buy. This is different. I feel so different about where this team is at, and of course it has to do with everybody else seems to be running into some bad luck right now. I'm not apologizing for that. There's no way. We've had bad luck for how long? And that's part of the game. So it's a combo of the Browns are playing well. They've got a historic defense at the moment. And everybody else is dealing with issues.
Yeah, so the way I look at it is, look at the Steelers. I don't think there's a question we're a better team than them. Yes, we lost. We get that. But we're a better team all around. Then you go to the Bengals. They're having some massive problems. And it's very clear that if Joe Burrow's not 100% healthy, they're not where they should be. And then you go look at the Browns and Ravens, and those are two teams that I think on offense are still kind of figuring out their identities and making the parts work. But the Browns just have better pieces. And like you said, that defense is just what puts them over the hump.
Yeah, so vote on that in our Twitter question. I'm obviously leaning towards yes. We'll get Ryan's vote coming up in a little bit. Last night was so great for Terry Francona. For them to get the win that they did, I don't mean to rain on the parade.
Don't do it. I know where you're going. Don't do it. It was Tito Day.
I'm about done with Trevor Stephan.
So I was at the game yesterday, obviously, like I told you, and he came in, and me and my buddies were like, "Uh-oh, here we go." And then the random dude next to me, he's like, "Oh, you guys are so right." And then what happened? Immediately, 2 back-to-back doubles.
And I'm sitting here sweating it out because I got our Tipico boost, and I go, "Do not choke this away." And honestly, I had our Tipico boost, and I also bet the under. I'm into this little action here, Ryan, on Tipico, which I love. I've mentioned this before. Whatever bet you like for the game, and you can do this for football and basketball and certainly baseball. So like last night, I liked the under. I just figured with that offensive explosion that they had the other night, bats might be a little tired. The under is usually whatever they set it at, and it's minus 110. It's about even money. So what I like to do is take just one player and boost it with a hit. So you can go in there and say, do you think Jose Ramirez is going to get a hit? Do you think Oscar Gonzalez? They had a lot of Oscar Gonzalez highlights in Tito's thing, so he's on my mind. But, Brian Rocchio or something like that. So what I did was I like looking at their averages for the season. And I start with anybody that bats over 260. Anybody that's over 260. And if they went 0-4 the game before, I would assume just on their average, they're going to get a hit today. So I boosted that a little bit. I took the under, and I took Jonathan India to get one hit. He did that. The under hit. Tipico. Bing, boom. Done. Got it. One of my favorite things to do. Like football, same thing. For tonight, I got a guaranteed play for tonight, right? I really like a bet for tonight. Take, a prop, whatever you like. If you like the spread, you like the over-under, and just take an easy prop. Take an alternate line of over 25 rushing yards for Aaron Jones, or take over 200 passing yards for Jordan Love. I like both those, by the way. But we'll get to our bets a little bit later. Trevor Stephan, I think he'll be back. He's under contract. But they got to get that figured out. The Guardians have such a big offseason. You're replacing a Hall of Fame manager, but they also have some things that I just look at and I go, you need an 8th inning guy. Another middle of the lineup type guy. Remember when Josh Bell and Mike Zunino were supposed to help solidify the middle of our lineup?
Yep.
Good Lord. Just some of those things. And you're right. Today and yesterday are all about Tito. I mentioned it yesterday about his scooter getting stolen. I didn't know that they defecated on it. What are you doing?
Okay, was that real?
Yeah.
100%?
Yeah. I knew I had heard that his scooter had gotten stolen again. And for those that don't know the full background, most people probably know. Tito lives over very close to the ballpark. I don't want to say where, but I think most people probably know. There's a bowling alley on the corner of that street. And Gabriel's Southern Table, which was one of my favorite spots in all of downtown Cleveland. Tito lives over there. So he will just ride his scooter from the stadium, over to his house. And I guess he just leaves it outside. I'm assuming he leaves it unlocked. I don't know. Because it's been stolen before. I think he's probably weighing on the people in this town know that that's Tito's scooter, and who would want to steal Terry Francona's scooter? But then you had to poop on it. What was that? What was the point of that? And I guess it's wrecked. Like, they wrecked it. And the first thing I thought of was, I'd want to get the hell out of this town, too. It's not true. Like, he's leaving anyway. But I'd be like, dude, I can't even leave my scooter outside without somebody taking it. Yesterday was a great day. It was very touching, the tribute. And I loved at the end of the game where you knew Tito was going to try to run into his office and not stand out there. And Jose Ramirez blocked the steps, and he goes, no. You go out there and you take this in because you deserve it. And I appreciate people like you, Ryan, that went to the game because there was 28,000 people there, which was great. Did you see the numbers? 41% attendance increase from last season.
Wow.
I love this team, man. I love baseball. It was truly my first love of a game. I wanted to be a professional baseball player. I got to semi-pro as far as I got, Ryan. Which you think, you got semi-pro. It's not really what you think it is. So I want to see them be successful. And I love going to the ballpark. I was lucky enough to take our son, my 2-year-old, to his first game this year, like memories like that. The ballpark itself is great. The renovations that they're putting in seem to be awesome. But you go there, food is awesome. Drink prices are okay. Parking is pretty. What are you going to do? Everybody charges $12, $15, $16 for a beer. I don't know what to tell you. At least when I go there, because I am a millennial, I can get a nice IPA. I love Miller Lite and Bud Light and Budweiser and all that, but sometimes it's just, I want a nice Fatheads, which are so very delicious. So they have all that. So the ballpark itself is great. And I hope attendance will rise. We know it all comes back to how successful the team is and how well they're playing. But last night was everything that it should be for Terry. I was happy they got that win. Reds needed that bad because I think Arizona, because they're fighting with Arizona for a wild card spot. Arizona lost, right? There was a rain delay because Mickey hit a home run yesterday. So they're kind of trying to stay afloat. And then we go to Detroit starting tomorrow for Miggy's farewell tour a little bit there too. So great night for the Guards. Great night for Tito. And it was just awesome to see. Great night in the NBA, in a way, with this Dame Lillard trade. There's nobody that captures trades like the NBA. You have some big trades in football. You have some decent ones in baseball. There ain't nothing like the NBA, man. There is nothing like the NBA. And I think there's an interesting question out there, which I'll leave to you, Ryan. You run the Twitter here, at Matt Fontana Show. You run it very well. Drop us a follow. We're inching closer to 200 followers. Do you think it's good or bad that the NBA has these big blockbuster trades like they do?
I like it. I think it's interesting. And another interesting aspect of it is the whole race to get to the news first between Woj and Shams. And it's so funny.
Which team are you on?
Honestly, I don't have one. It's whoever pops up in my Twitter feed first. Enough. But it just makes me so curious because I realized they tweeted within 1 minute of each other. So I wonder how they go about announcing the news.
Did you see Shams' deleted tweet? He had a deleted 14 tweet that Dame Lillard was going to Toronto.
Because you have to imagine those guys getting those tweets out so fast. They just have so many different versions in their drafts. They can just go in and click. Yeah, so that's crazy.
Not that I'm in that game, and I know some people, even just on a local level, that are. Dude, that's a grind. You could be sitting at dinner with your family, and you're like, nope, got to go out to the car and draft this article or write this or send this tweet out. I mean, no joke, because Adam Schefter would come to Bree all the time. And, my past job, I would see him and see Ian Rappaport. Bro, Schefter has 3 phones. 3 phones.
I believe it. He probably carries around his own hotspot.
Can I tell you a funny Adam Schefter story real quick?
I'd love it.
So when I was with ESPN Cleveland, and I will say, I not to brag or boast at all, but there's a lot of numbers in my phone, right, that I've just accumulated over the years. And my son loves taking my iPad or my phone. He knows what Siri is, so he loves pushing it and bringing Siri up, and he asks him to play, Wheels on the Bus. He almost called Mel Kiper yesterday. I grabbed my phone or my iPad.
You have Mel Kiper's number?
I do. I don't know if it's a real number anymore, but I do. So, and he pushed Siri, and, he's talking like a 2-year-old would. And Siri goes, "Do you mean call Mel Kiper Jr.?" I was like, "No!" I was like, no. Like, could you imagine Mel going, no. Sorry, Mel. My bad. Matt. What? Probably getting a number like, who the hell's calling me from Cleveland? So I have a lot of numbers on my phone, and all the people that I would work with, it would be a pool of people to say, hey, we're trying to get this person on, or we're trying to do this. Does anybody have a number? So like I said, Schefter has 3 phones. And I found out that one of those phones is meant for personal use only. Because there was some Browns breaking news. This was years ago. I can't remember. And I got a number for Adam Schefter. And I called him like twice in the morning to try to get him on. And he eventually calls back. And I pick up the phone. And he goes, "Is this Matt?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Matt, it's Adam Schefter." I go, "Hi, Adam. How are you?" And he goes, "I'm going to come on with you guys. But can I tell you something to then relay to the person who gave me his number?" And he was trying to be as nice as he could. Yeah. But in the most stern voice, he goes, "You tell them to lose that number." Yeah. And I said, "Okay, Aaron Rodgers." I was obviously way later. And he was like super upset. And he almost was like asking me, like, where did you get that number? How did you get that number? Because no one is supposed to have that. The other 2 phones you can call. One of them was a BlackBerry, by the way. He was holding out for the BlackBerry. He wouldn't get rid of it. And he said, "You can call those other 2. He goes, "That number that you got, you don't ever call this number again." And I said, and he goes, "I'm going to come on with you guys." And he goes, "I'm not yelling at you. I just need you to pass that message on." And I said, "Okay, no problem." He's a really nice guy. Yeah. But those guys all have 3 phones. They're all sitting down. But it is that a lot of the teams understand where the media comes from, so they probably send out a mass text that Shams is on and that Woj is on, that Chris Haynes might be on, and they all get it kind of at the same time, and this is race because they all probably have the same sources, right? I'm not in that game. I don't ever want to be in that game. It's a grind. So it all comes out yesterday that Dame Lillard gets traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. And it's not that he got traded, it's that nobody thought Milwaukee would be the team. 3-team trade, they get Philly, or I'm sorry, Freudian slip, because that's where Drew Holiday's going to go. Drew Holiday's leaving. He goes to Portland. He won't ever play a game there. He's going to get moved on. Ayton's involved, coming from Phoenix and all this other kind of stuff. With any of these stories, what do? I bring it back to the impact on the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I actually think, in a crazy, loony world, that this was a good thing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let me explain. I believe, going into the season, that the Cavs were the 3rd best team in the East, behind Boston and Milwaukee. I've never been a big believer in Miami, not really feeling the Knicks. So I felt like the Cavs were to do kind of what they did, get to that 3 seed again, okay? If Dame Lillard had gone to Miami, I would have put Miami ahead of the Cavs and had them jump down a spot. He went to Milwaukee. Nothing changes. Right? They're still the 3rd team. Now, your comeback is that gap is now widened, right? That gap is now widened. There was always a big one. I really did feel like it was Boston and Milwaukee. There was a drop-off to the Cavs, to the Knicks, to the Heat. Now that gap is widened because they got Dame Lillard. I get that. And it's something to be said about they had to give up Drew Holiday, too. Get into that in just a second. But you still remain 3rd. If he'd have gone to Miami, I would have had to have dropped the Cavs down to 4th. This is something that I could seriously see Miami imploding. I can't tell if Jimmy Butler's being serious or not when he gets on that video last night on social media and goes, "You need to investigate them from tampering." Because we know how trades go with the NBA. Like, the Chris Paul one comes to mind where the NBA stepped in and like, nope, not doing that one. And I don't think they're going to do that here, but tampering is such a weird thing. Any team would pay any fine for tampering to get a guy like Dame Lillard or get a top player. So it's phony. They care when they care, but they don't. So I think it's interesting on how the dynamics of the East have played out, where I still have the Cavs third. I still do. So in a way, this was a win for them. And now if this somehow jettisons Miami or spirals them out of control, everybody was ready to send Tyler Hero on out of town. We know what that can be like when you don't pull a trade off like that. When the Cavs were trying to pull off big trades with LeBron eras and they didn't, it can fracture a team. It can really change a lot of things. So I'd love nothing more than to send Miami away. That's one less team the Cavs have to deal with. And I'm a realist to say that it will still be an uphill battle. The good money is to be had that Milwaukee or Boston will be going to the finals. They're the two best teams. At this point, playing that game of what means the most for the Cavs or what can be stabilized with the Eastern Conference Finals, is that enough for you after getting bounced out in the first round? Maybe, maybe not. Then you come back to the other layer of this story and how it applies to Donovan Mitchell. There's a lot of conversation being had about Donovan's future in Cleveland. He's under contract for this year, next year, and I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
I believe so.
And also, he can't even sign an extension yet. He can't even do it till like mid-October, I think. He can't sign some extension even today. So there's no worry about that at the moment. But why do you think Milwaukee went and got Dame Lillard? I'll give you the answer. Because Giannis started making these little tiny comments about, I'll leave. I'm paraphrasing what he said, right? It's what every NBA star does for almost every team that they're on. They hold the team accountable. They don't hold them hostage, but they hold them accountable to say, I am a elite NBA player. I can't do it by myself. And if you can't do it for me here, I'm going to go find somebody else that will. That's how the NBA rolls. And that's in part why all these big trades are happening. There's no league that has more powerful players than the NBA. There is no league out there that the players have more power in running things than the NBA because they can call their shots. It doesn't always work out. Like watch James Harden in Philly and he's still sitting there. But when big players start making those comments, teams get nervous. And I think that's why Milwaukee went to go get this move. And for the Bucks, they were victorious at least this morning. It doesn't mean that Giannis won't leave one day, but at least for the moment, you can go to him and say, we tried. We got you, Dame Lillard. Now, they got to see how it plays out. And if they go win 3 championships together, then of course, all's well that ends well, right? But at least it buys them some time. And they're a very good basketball team. They were a good basketball team before. If they could just get now, especially with Dame, if they could just keep Chris Middleton healthy, man, you keep him healthy, that's a juggernaut team. That is a very good basketball team. And even a boost on Tipico, because, of course, Milwaukee launched to being the favorite to win the title. You can go to Tipico right now and get a boost. I think it was like plus 3 something is what it went to, plus like 330, 360. You can go to Tipico and get it at plus 400. They're going to give you a little special boost on that if you feel like the Bucks are going to be champions. So check that out. Big play 150. Use your code at Tipico. But there is that element of kind of with Donovan Mitchell too. Like people are I try not to spend much time on it because it's down the road. It's the future. And I'm not going to lie. I've conditioned myself that, yeah, Donovan Mitchell will probably leave the Cavs one day. I think the Cavs' future is more tied to Evan Mobley. But to watch these all these big trades happen, don't forget that a lot of the reason is what the star players want. And I think, Ryan, Giannis earlier this offseason, just not in a threatening way or anything, but he just started dropping these little things about just like, bringing talent here or just potentially leaving. And that probably scared the Bucks into, we got to do something. We got to get somebody in here, and they go out and get Dame Lillard.
Yeah, and another point to that, obviously Giannis wants to go win as many titles as he can. Why are they keeping his brothers on the team? I get it.
Oh, it's the same thing with LeBron when he was here. He's got guys he wants to get paid.
That's what I'm saying, but it's crazy to me.
Power, man. I mean, when you're a star player, you get everything you need. Get everything that you want. Evan Mobley's brother's on the Cavs. What do you want?
Well, okay, he was Summer League champion.
I know he was. Decent. Was he not the MVP in the Summer League, by the way?
He was.
Good for Isaiah. There you go. Baseball, you draft brothers time to time. I don't think they drafted Bo Naylor just because of Josh. They missed out on their youngest brother, but, it happens. It is what it is. Got roster spots you got to fill. But watching that trade yesterday and seeing just how dejected Miami fans are this morning. just gives me a little pleasure. I still hate the Heat. That's why I probably am still down on them. I still hold the LeBron thing against them. I do.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I sports as a fan, for you, for me, for Ryan, for anybody out there, there's something that just sticks in your craw, right? Some are bigger than others. The Ravens taking our team, pretty big one, right?
Yeah.
There's something about Miami that will just always bother me.
So do you think, though, if LeBron stayed in Cleveland, though, we'd have a ring?
Yeah.
Because that kind of did help us get Kyrie, and then in turn.
Yeah, and again, it all worked out because you won one later with him. You're right. You wouldn't have Kyrie. You wouldn't be in the position that you were in. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because he could have still wanted out. That was truly the era of the big three. Now you're into the big two, kind of more of anything, just on how the CBA and the salary cap and all that kind of stuff works now. I don't know. I just hate the Heat. I just do. I will say this. You try to do this job not being biased. I will tell you that I'm biased against the Heat, that I will always start from a place of I don't like them. I won't probably give them the credit that they're due, even when they deserve it. There's something about Miami. So seeing that play out,
I get it.
Yeah, I got nothing for them. I really don't. And even just on the team, like, do they look like it? Granted, this is a team that has had great success, but even when you look at them, you go, really?
Yeah, that team for me is Philadelphia.
Philly's an interesting one because if they get Drew Holiday back, which is now Portland's getting rid of him, they'll move him on. And there's some people that think what Portland got back, or what Milwaukee had to give up for Dame Lillard is something close to what they might get for Drew Holiday, unprotected picks and all that. They're going to get a haul, and that's a rebuild done right up there for the Trailblazers. It'd be nice if they kept Drew Holiday out of the East. Because even if he went to Philly, I still think the Cavs are a better team. I'm also conditioned that James Harden will not play for the 76ers again.
I agree that we're a better team than Philadelphia. It's just, gosh, we never beat them.
No. And that there is that second tier. I think I didn't even put Philly in there when I was talking about Miami and New York earlier. Philly is that just, they're so Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, they could be a team that could go out and win 70-odd some games or whatever, 65 games, and they're a team that just looks like a bag full of cats. You can't get it figured out. They didn't get rid of Harden. It wouldn't shock me if they were blowing the phone up trying to be like, dude, can you just we'll take Drew Holiday, we'll flip you James Harden, and if I'm Portland, I'm going, no. What are you going to get for James Harden? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, big day in the NBA. I don't think it's a big impact on the Cavs, but we'll bring up Dame Lillard and Giannis a little bit later with our brand new segment called True or False Thursday. We'll get to that at 9:45, so about 10 minutes away from that. We'll dive back into the Browns when we return. Our Twitter question is up. Do you think the Browns are currently the best team in the AFC North? We'll continue that discussion. We'll hear a little bit from Deshaun Watson as well. So he thinks Sunday was his best game as far as the Cleveland Browns go. Even going back to last year or what he's played this year. Did Deshaun Watson feel like this was the best game he played against the Titans? We'll get to that. Got you locked and loaded, taking up till 11 a.m. this morning right here. Matt Fontana Show. We're on Big Play, streaming on Twitter at Matt Fontana Show, on YouTube at Matt Fontana Show, and of course on the beautiful and awesome iHeart app. Download it. Full show replays there as well. And you get all of our shows throughout the day. Drennan last night, always great. Ryan, I saw your tweet. I got to work with Bruce for a long time. He's the best. I love Bruce. So Bruce is here with a brand new show. Josh and Maria Cribbs, Bobby Carpenter, Anthony Schlegel, the Big Play Football Show, Hanford Dixon, Greg Williams. It's all there for you. BigPlay.com or get it streaming on the iHeart app. Search for the Big Play channel. It's all right there for you. Do you think the Browns are the best team in the division? We'll update that Twitter question next. Stay with us. Back here on the Matt Fontana Show on Big Play. Do you think the Browns are the best team in the AFC North right now today? That's our Twitter question this morning. Welcome back. I'm Matt Fontana. Ryan Tyler with you this morning. I say yes. I think it's in combo of how bad the rest of the division seems to be right now with where the Browns defense stands, all that kind of stuff, Ryan. I think it is, yeah.
Yeah,
and it doesn't mean that it's good.
absolutely.
I mean, I don't think it's going to stay. I hope it stays that way. There's a lot of season left to be played. There's a lot that can go on, right? But when I think about how the Browns have set themselves up for this, I feel really good. I feel really good that this is sustainable, that this is something that they can keep going. And knowing that I think Deshaun Watson will continue to ascend. So Watson spoke yesterday and had his normal media availability. And the question was asked, do you feel like this past Sunday against the Titans, was that the best game that you played for the Cleveland Browns? Courtesy of the Browns, here's the sound from Deshaun Watson yesterday. The question, do you feel like Sunday was your best game?
I didn't feel any different. And what I can take forward is just really just focusing on, building off all the good and all the bad from that game, like I usually do with any other game. Just keep pushing forward, and that's pretty much it.
I mean, given the non-answer coach speak there, and I got to get better, but he said it didn't feel any different. I think that probably leans then, Ryan, that's what it's supposed to feel like, right? If that like seriously, like if he says that didn't feel any different from what they think it could be or doesn't feel any different than what they're going to try to roll with, then that's probably more what we're looking for.
Yeah, it sure as hell looked different.
It did. It looked a lot different. It felt different. And we're in a microwave society where you want it quick and you want it fixed, but it's the slow brew. Iced coffee over hot, by the way. Slow brew. Ryan's a hot coffee guy. I'm an iced coffee guy. Iced coffee. Yeah. It's a slow brew. Can't fix it all in one, because sometimes when you do fix it quick, it's not really, it's false. Like you think you got it quick. You think oh man, I can make this throw all the time. Also realizing, the Titans defense is not necessarily what you're even going to face with the Ravens. Oh, unless the Ravens miss all of these guys that are all missing practice this week. Would it do anything for you, Ryan? Does it matter at all to you that, like, if we play the Ravens on Sunday and they're missing 6 starters, do you care?
Yes.
You do?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think if they're without Marlon Humphrey and especially Kyle Hamilton, they're going to be in trouble.
No, I mean from, like, would you look at that and go, oh, we didn't really beat the Ravens?
Oh, and no.
No, I don't care either.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not one of those
be
guys.
damned all of that. I don't care. Yeah. No, it's going to have an impact. Like, they are going to have an impact if they're missing 5-6 starters on that defense. But also, I don't care. I don't. No, I don't. If it's Rock Ya-Sin out there instead of Marlon Humphrey, I don't care. You still got to get out there and you still got to get a win. And that's where, even for the Browns, there's a little tiny part of me that's concerned about the game before the bye. When the bye is later and your team is struggling or you're not in the position you thought, then you're really on alert because these guys are going to start thinking, dude, I'm out of here come Monday morning. Like, I got a plane. I'm getting to a beach. Cabo's waiting for me. All that. This team, I hope, is attacking this from give it all you got come Sunday, and then we'll get to the bye. And they'll fix a lot of things in the bye. That the coaches, they love to sit down and they self-scout, and they'll figure out a lot of things. You go back and forth on the early bye, which I always think kind of sucks. And, of course, we got the earliest possible bye this year. There is something to be said, though, about not taking the Ravens lightly. They're injured, and your bye week is staring you down. Got to be on your mentals this week. You have got to be on your P's and Q's this week for this team, because it'd be easy to say, yeah, man, even if we got 2-2 going to the bye, that's great. Get, time to relax. No, you got to keep the foot on the gas this week. And probably more specific for Deshaun Watson, because if you're looking and saying that they're missing 2 pass rushers, they still have Jadeveon Clowney, which we'll talk about in hour 2 coming up. They still have Clowney. You still are going to have some of your starters in the secondary, but there is a chance that you're going to just be picking on some backups, and it'd be easy to fall into a false sense of security of, yeah, we'll roll it out. We're at home. We'll beat them. That's no problem. Our defense ain't going to let them score points. It's still Lamar Jackson. He could still throw a giant wrench in what that Browns defense is trying to do. I don't take that lightly. and the Browns are still a young enough team, in my opinion, that's a conversation to be had. This is not some veteran-laden team that has been to the playoffs over and over, and they know the importance. I still see this team potentially falling into the trap of looking ahead. And you just can't have that. You're going to lose. You are going to lose if that happens come Sunday. I just hope that they can avoid that. And I think they will.
Yeah, I'm super, super intrigued to see kind of the new Browns philosophy on defense. Like early when we would play the Ravens under Joe Woods, we'd play more zone, be a little more passive on defense, make Lamar throw. But I want to see if Jim Schwartz, if we're going to keep sending 5 guys at him and, just protect the outside. And we'll see if that Jim Schwartz defense can contain, I think it's safe to say, the most elusive quarterback in football.
The Browns at least have had a game plan over the last couple of years. Granted, that was Joe Woods, but at least the coaches are still here to say, hey, we've done this. The players have been here before to say, hey, we've done this and this has worked. So there's something to work off of. There's something, a little base there to try to help the Browns. Our Twitter question is up at Matt Fontana Show. Do you believe the Browns are the best team in the AFC North right now? 67-33. People say yes, they are. Alex tweets, currently, yeah. I'd still say the Bengals are the better team, but the Brownies have their number anyway. Try not to be a victim of the moment, especially only for 3 games. Ed tweets, especially if they can beat the Ravens. And RF on Twitter says, we'll find out on Sunday. I'll listen to that. Like right now, we said it this morning on our Tipico app. The Browns and the Ravens are tied to win the division, right? I look at Sunday to say that's for number 1.
Yeah.
It's not even like, they do it in boxing or they do it in wrestling, like the number 1 contender spot. That's it. Like Sunday is like a championship match, knowing that it'll go back and forth and you play the Ravens one more time. But Sunday is for the crown of the AFC North at this point. The winner of that game will take over the belt for the AFC North. That's how I view it. And I hope that's how the Browns view it too, to send a little message to the rest of the league and to the AFC North to see how it gets done. All right, let me tell you about Tipico for a second, and then we're going to debut a brand new segment here on the Matt Fontana Show. We're going to do True or False Tuesday. Thursday. It's Thursday. It's not Tuesday. It's Thursday. I just alarmed a lot of people. Because if it was Tuesday, we wouldn't have football tonight. We have football tonight. I'm very excited about that. Speaking of, you need your bet credits for football season. Get signed up with the Tipico Sportsbook. It's got all you need. The traditional bets like the money line, the spread, and the point totals. But the player props are awesome, and I love the boosts. I love the big play boost that we do. We got to submit ours, Ryan, for the Matt Fontana Show for tomorrow. We'll get that in. Check your favorite athletes. Do the player props. Do the game props. Do the boosts. Get in on the action and use the promo code BIGPLAY150 when you sign up. When you get signed up, you get $150 bet credits plus a $30 dog pound bet that is good for futures as well. Use that code BIGPLAY150 with our friends at Tipico. Download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See those on the website at Tipico. Ryan, let's take it away for our very first edition of True or False. So they're not all going to be sports related. It's going to be pretty simple. Ryan will present us with a question, a topic, and we'll decide if that is true or false. Ryan.
Let's do it, Matt. First up, true or false? Sticking with the Damian Lillard talk. Damian Lillard will win his first ring after teaming up with Giannis in Milwaukee.
I think that answer is true. I do. There's a question about how much Dame's got left in the tank. He's injured. He's a little older. I get it. But I think there's a path. As good as the East is, if you somehow, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, move the Bucks to the West, yeah, without a question. In the East, it is harder, but they are the best team in the East right now. They are the favorites. I think it's going to be them and the Nuggets in the finals. That'll be a fun matchup to watch. But I do think they'll get it done. This was one piece to kind of put them over the top. And even if you want to say that Drew Holiday and Dame Lillard are wash as far as a player, sometimes you need a little just rejuvenation or you just need a little excitement. Like Bucks fans woke up today or yesterday and they were super excited. The organization won the day, without a doubt. Sometimes you need that a little bit just to get a little swag going, a little something going. So I'm going to say, yeah, I do. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I think they'll win it. I think they're going to win a ring together. So I'm going to say that is true.
Alrighty, sticking with basketball. We know the Cavs got a little bit deeper this offseason. So, Matt, true or false? The Cavs will finish as a top 3 seed in the East.
I think that is also very true. I think Miami's going to fall off. I think Philly's got a lot of problems. And they were able to do that last year with about the same team. I don't read too much into that Tristan Thompson signing. He's more of just a help out some young guys and get some minutes and scrap. And don't get me wrong. JB's going to throw him into a game when he's got to go rough somebody up. There's a game which what did the Cavs get? Why did they lose that series against the Knicks? They got out physicaled. They were not the tougher team. You don't have that problem with Tristan Thompson on your team. You send him in there, he'll rough somebody up, get a technical, and sit back down. That's fine. But at least you got that guy on this team now. So if you have the same team that they were, bringing it back, and granted, dude, I go back to some of those that big Boston win that we had. You're not going to always have those, but they're the same team. I'm going to say that's true. They'll be a top 3 seed. And the final reason I think that, they learned a lot. A lot of the young guys on this team learned a little bit on how and what it takes to navigate a regular season, and they have a bad taste in their mouth. I will always, not always, but you want a team that has an edge to them. You want a team that'll start a season with a little edge there and a little something. You're telling me that the Cavs didn't like being ridiculed by basically the entire NBA community for how they went out against the Knicks, and certainly in this town? They got an edge to them. They got a sour taste in their mouth. I'm going to say, yeah, they'll finish as a top 3 team. True.
Alrighty, now into football. True or false? Deshaun Watson will throw for 230-plus yards.
Let me pull up here. I just want to get the passing statistics here for the Ravens. Now, this all is going along with the fact that they're missing so many guys in that secondary and, might have to make some changes there. Browns, number 1. 111 yards per game. The Ravens are about 10th, 200 yards per game. I'm going to say that is true. The rushing attack has taken a hit. You're not going to be exactly where you think to be. I'm going to say true that he will throw. I'm on all trues this morning. We'll see if we get a false here mixed in. I'm going to say that's true. I think you need 230 out of Watson. I'm going to say 2 touchdowns, too, in this game to lead the offense. This might be a blowout. This might be a real butt whooping down there at the stadium this Sunday. So I'm going to say true. I think Watson's going to build off some of the things and be able to pick up some nice first downs. And he might do it throwing it 40 times. This might be short passes to get him into the game. Just try to eke it out with short passes and just drain the clock, drain out drives. I'm all for that. I'm going to say that is true. He'll throw for 230.
Alrighty, true or false? Lamar Jackson will rush for 50-plus yards.
He's going to have to, so I'm going to say true. And even that's the Browns' defense is very good, but if he runs it enough times, he's going to get that. Gus Edwards being back, I think, will help them, but they probably are falling into the trap that the best offense they have is when Lamar does everything, and that's not truly a good offense. The one sneaky one to watch is Mark Andrews. He was borderline, he disappeared in that game. Game plan or not, watch Mark Andrews for this game coming up on Sunday. But I think Lamar's going to have to run. I think he is going to run. I'll say over on the 50 as well. True.
Already.
Got to give me a false here. Let's see what we got.
This is a good one for you, Matt. Then we'll see. If anybody's been watching the news or paying any slight attention to anything that's going on in the world, we all know, of course, that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift appear to be booed up. So, Matt, true or false?
No.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are endgame.
I'm going to say false.
No.
How many Hollywood marriages you go, they're the ones that are going to make it? No, they're the ones that are going to make it. Especially because if they're tiptoeing their way into this when it comes to are they dating or not? And the hard thing to watch all of it, Ryan, is to see the implosion of their social media searches. Travis Kelce's jerseys are up 400%.
I'm pretty sure I think he gained 300,000 followers.
Sure. She's got this tour that's going to theaters. As popular as Taylor Swift is, you could use any amount of swag or any amount of discussion that you can get. It's all about the clicks. It's all about the impressions. And it's hard for me not to believe that there's a reason behind this. She's going to the game this weekend. She's going to a game again this weekend to watch him play.
Yeah, on national television.
Of course, so you know it. And you want to know who else is just as involved in this is the NFL. They love this. They're sitting there saying, yes, more. Eventually, though, and I act like I know this, but their schedule, she tours, he's playing football. It's not always going to be that easy. It's not always going to be that good. And imagine the stories when they break up. Imagine all of the clicks and everything else that they'll get. It's the Kardashians, man. They have created this world that you can make literally billions of dollars by just being talked about. We hope to do that here on this show one day. They just it's going to implode again when every story, every turn of all you're doing is seeing them. I'm asking you like isn't she going back out on tour? Like this tour is not done, right? She's just on a break.
Yeah, she's on a little month hiatus at the moment.
Eras tour. Okay, wait. Where's the schedule? Tour dates. Here we go. What's today? 29th, 28th of September. So she is on a break until November 9th, and then that's when she goes overseas for the entire month of November. So she'll be gone all of November. But then she comes back, and she'll have a break in December and January where she could watch and play. Here's the problem. Come Super Bowl time, she's in Japan and Australia. Probably bad if they got there. The NFL would be dying if she couldn't show up for the Super Bowl. What day is the Super Bowl this year? 2024 Super Bowl date. It's Sunday, February 11th. February 10th, she is in Japan at the Tokyo Dome. But she then has a week off before she goes to Australia. I picture a WWE entrance where the Super Bowl's in Vegas this year, right? So they're in Vegas, and they start the game, and then it's like Stone Cold Steve Austin, the glass shatters, like, boo, she's not supposed to be here. It's Taylor Swift. Oh my God. And she walks into the suite or something like that. It's going to happen. Watch that. The NFL loves this. Everybody loves it. I'm sorry to say, I don't think this will be for the long. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Alrighty, last true or false for you, Matt. True or false? Tito is the greatest Indians/Guardians manager ever.
I mean, the two that you would have at the top of the list would be Hargrove and Tito from an era. Like, I know Lou Boudreau won a championship in 1948 and all that kind of stuff. It's Terry, it's Grover for me. And I'm going to go with Terry Francona because, frankly, I think he did more with less. If you had the lineup that those 90s teams had, it'd be a little bit different. The managerial job that Terry did in this town, impressive. And then also what it's like when you left. So we know when Grover left and they gave it over to Charlie Manuel, not great, wasn't great with Eric Wedge. Yeah, you sprinkled in some playoff appearances here and there, but really, I think the story will also be told of how Terry left this team. Like, if they go to success over the next couple of years, and that is certainly dependent on who they hire as the manager, that also tells the story of why Tito might be the best manager that this team has ever had, let alone what he's had to do, the team that he took to the World Series. I still say the last year getting that team to the playoffs was super impressive. But yeah, I think that is true, that he is the best. I put him over Grover. I do. And I think it's just because the lineups that Grover had were just better, and Terry got more out of less. And also changed the culture here. Set this team up to be who they are and what they are. That will still be written. That's still coming up on how they're going to approach that. I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is true that he is the best manager that this team has ever seen.
What about Manny Acta?
Dude, Manny Acta was so bad. Like, of my lifetime. So again, power ranking Guardians, Indians managers. Tito 1, Grover 2, Eric Wedge 3, Charlie Manuel 4, Joel Skinner, Sandy Alomar, Joel Skinner, DeMarlo Hale, 50 feet of crap, Manny Acta. There you go.
Okay, now the real question is, who was the worst manager? Or I guess in this term, manager and coach. Was it Manny Acta or Hugh Jackson?
Hugh Jackson. I mean, Manny Acta didn't do something that's been done twice in a league history, okay? Oh, my God. Yeah, they were both really bad. Really bad. Manny Acta, it was bad. Nobody will touch Hugh Jackson.
I'm clipping
1 in 31.
I'm clipping this and sending it to him.
To who, Manny Acta?
Manny Acta.
Don't do that. I feel bad piling on. I feel bad piling on one Manny Acta. How the hell did they find him, by the way? I don't even remember. Okay, in 3 years. Here's Manny Acta, right? So he was the Washington manager. That, by the way, great little note, I think, for the Guardians here. Don't hire somebody that just got fired. Because that's what they did with Manny Acta. So they took a guy from Washington. So Manny Acta was the manager in Washington for 2.5 years. Ryan, he was 100 games under 500. He had a 38% winning percentage, and they hired him in Cleveland. Then he comes here, finishes 4th, 2nd, and then is fired at the end of the 2012 season. He left Cleveland with a 214, 266 managerial record. Bad. Just bad. Horrible. So yes, I'm sorry to Manny Acta. Not good. Not good at all. The morning update is very good. We got a lot of stories to recap. Get back into Dame Lillard. We'll talk some more Browns as we gear up for the Browns and Ravens coming up Sunday. 1 hour down. 10 o'clock hour is upon us. We'll get to the morning update. We'll do it next. Matt Fontana Show right here on Big Play. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. On-demand shows with Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can also check out BigPlay.com for all of our merchandise, all of our things that you're looking for there. Chico comes up 12 to 2. Had Drennan last night, Hanford Show, Carpenter and Schlegel, Booby Show, Josh Maria Cribbs. We got it all for you, folks. Big Play Network, where you want it, how you want it, and when you want it. The new way of enjoying entertainment. Morning update. We'll get to that next right here on Big Play. All right, back here on the Matt Fontana Show, Big Play. We'll get you all the stories you got to know. We call it the morning update in the very capable hands of one Ryan Tyler. Take it away, Ryan.
Alrighty, let's get into it. Basketball. How about Wilt Chamberlain? His 1972 NBA Finals jersey, which he wore in Game 2 and then the clinching Game 5, sold for a record $4.9 million on Wednesday night.
I mean, when there's stuff like that, when it's one of one, and you know that it probably went to one of two people, a giant Wilt Chamberlain fan or a sports memorabilia investor. And there's a bubble out there for it, like NFTs. You know how that is completely imploded, and I'm sure there's people out there that lost a lot of money on those things. The jerseys, the tickets, it's like anything. Nostalgia can be very expensive, right? There are certain things out there that you are just a giant fan of. If you don't know already, and I don't know how you wouldn't, I'm a giant Batman fan. So Ryan, there are sealed copies of Batman issue number 1. He debuted in Detective Comics 1939, I think. But the first edition Batman, 1940. It's millions of dollars. I would buy that if I had millions of dollars. If I somehow, we turn this show into what we hope it to be one day, right? And I just was bestowed all this cash, I'm going to go buy that. Now, am I buying it because I ever want to sell it again one day? No, I want people to walk down my basement and go, hey, look what I got over here. Whoa. So it's cool to see that kind of stuff. I do think there's an element, there's a sad part of it, though, when you see players that they got to sell their stuff because they have to, right? Like Pete Rose doesn't have anything left, and he's signing autographs for $20 a pop out there in Vegas because of everything that happened to him. And and that's not the case with Will. Obviously, he's not with us anymore. But that's something where it's like, that one's okay. Like I hate seeing it where you have guys that are going, I got to sell a Super Bowl ring, I got to sell my Olympic gold medal because I don't have any money left or anything like that. Or there are people that say, no, this should be appreciated, this should be, enjoyed by other people, and get rid of it. But I just think it's, it's personal stuff that gets a little crazy. Did you see that story about this lady that was doing a garage sale and she sold her father's $40,000 Pokemon set? So her dad apparently had a sealed, and I'm not really into Pokemon. I was at one point. Little hint maybe coming up a little bit later in Time Hop before we rhyme with Pokemon. But this guy had a sealed thing, and I know those cards can be super expensive. Apparently he had a sealed set that was valued about $40,000. She sold it for $5 at a garage sale. Like, my comeback was, how is that not in a safe? How is that not somewhere like locked away in a safe somewhere? It's just out and about, and you never thought to like ask your dad. I mean, there's stories about that. One of the Super Mario Brothers, because another big market out there are the video games. If you can get sealed, original Super Mario Brothers, Zelda, all the legacy type games, one of the best, and they all get graded, right? You take them to, not tops, but like PSA and all that, and they look at it and they grade it. Not everything's a 10. One of the sealed 10 original Super Mario Brothers games, you know how they found it? Somebody put it in a desk drawer in 1980 whatever and forgot about it and didn't touch it for 40 years. Open the desk drawer and there's hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting right there because that's what it's worth. Like, those are the stories that are crazy. There was another one that it might even been the same one. They found a $5 bill stuck in, and they go, this was somebody's birthday present that they just never opened, and now it's worth $1 bajillion. There are people that have signed or sealed iPhones, the original iPhones, and they're selling them for a lot of money. Must be nice just to have to throw around, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cash, all that kind of stuff. But we'll get there one day.
Yes, we will, Matt. All right,
I'll never give up on my Batman issue 1, Ryan.
I don't blame you. That sounds pretty cool. Alrighty, we talked about this earlier on the show, but Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow and New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers have built a connection on a shared experience, that being calf injuries. Rodgers revealed on the Pat McAfee show Tuesday that he reached out to Burrow after the Bengals win against the Rams. Burrow says He's dealt with calf issues his whole career and wants to use Aaron as a resource, get his thoughts and what he might have done.
That is something that you wonder if this is a lingering issue for years to come. I'm assuming Joe Burrow is going to be kind of fight through it, but there's that. You're always going to second guess it. Where should they have sat Joe Burrow, put him on PUP or put him on IR, and sat him for these 4 games? Here's their balance, right? Would you actually be in any different of a position at 1-2? I don't know, right? You could be 0-3, maybe staring down the barrel of 0-4. But Joe would be sitting down and you would assume would get better. Here's the ultimate question. It is never a guarantee that he will be better by sitting out. So now you play him and you hope it just incrementally gets better, but it probably is going to be more of what happened on Monday night. Or not Monday, Monday night. Monday night when they played. He plays, they win, but it got worse. Like, there's no way that calf didn't get worse after the game on Monday. There's the balance. That's what you play. They have no choice but to now ride it out. He could solicit all the opinions and all the doctors and all the things that he tries to do. It's just going to be there. It'll be there the whole season. And he's going to feel it every time he gets tackled. He's going to feel it every time he gets kicked. And I also think it's now getting into his head. And it'll change their offense. You got to get that football out. You can't let Joe Burrow get hit anymore. They're going to have to be getting rid of that football. And he's quick anyway. But that changes your offense. That's maybe something that people aren't talking enough about. You have Jamar Chase. That guy is a deep ball threat. You're not dropping Joe Burrow back on a 5-7 step drop with 4 seconds in the pocket, asking that offensive line to hold up and get that ball deep on the fear that he gets hit. Ain't happening. So they have to change the whole offense. Start running more with Joe Mixon. He can reach out to whoever he wants, man. I don't know. I looked it up real quick. There's never been a mint copy of Batman #1. The highest graded was a 9.2 out of 10, and it sold for $560,000 a decade ago.
Wow.
They imagine that if somehow somebody found one that was 9.6, it'd go for $1.5 million. Wow. I started GoFundMe for that?
Already,
I could get a... Oh, man, dude. Apparently, the record sale was 2.2 million. Oh, my God. It went for 2.2. Whoo!
It's a lot of money.
So if I wanted a 2, again, out of 10, a 2... $180,000, $180,000 for one that's probably got crinkles and rips and all that kind of stuff. Well, if I put a penny away a day, we'll get there one day. Continue on.
Well, a historic night in Atlanta as the Braves secured the #1 seed in the National League playoffs with their victory over the Cubs. And also, Ronald Acuna Jr. became the first player in MLB history with 40 home runs and 70 stolen bases in a season.
It just engraved the MVP now. The MVP races are over. It's Shohei Ohtani. Even with him getting hurt, it's Shohei Ohtani. It's Ronald Acuna Jr. There's no question. The Braves are entering the conversation that I have had with the Dolphins and the 49ers. They are a team with vengeance on their mind. And I say vengeance, they won the World Series. They are a motivated team. They are a team that is on a one-track mindset. They're dangerous. They're dangerous. Let's see. They got to be. I'm going to say, I didn't even look at Tipico this morning on this. I'm going to say they got to be under plus 200 to win the World Series, which is crazy. But they got to be. MLB futures. Again, I love Tipico. It's so easy. Plus 250. Okay. Not to derail the show here, Ryan, for a second, but let me log in here. Plus 250? I got to move it. All right, I'll do it in the break. I don't mean to derail the show. Plus 250 on Tipico. I'm taking that bet. I am all day.
Alrighty, well, the Damian Lillard news certainly sent shockwaves across the NBA world. One person with an interesting reaction was Jimmy Butler, who went on video saying that the league needs to look into the Bucks for tampering.
I'm sure they will, and they probably won't find anything. Or maybe they will. What are they going to do? You going to rescind the trade? Tampering is so weird in the NBA. How do you enforce it? And there's times that you're not supposed to speak, right? And I guess that's what Jimmy Butler is getting to. Okay. Is that even where Dame wanted to go? Like, when I hear tampering, you know what I think of? It's players calling other players. and saying, come join me here, how it used to be back in the day with this collaboration. I don't think Dame wanted to go to Milwaukee. If he had gone to Miami, I'd have been screaming more tampering if he had gone to Miami. It's funny that he's bringing up tampering when really Miami was the heavy favorite, probably because tampering. That's all you have left. When something like this, that truly, it comes out of left field, where Toronto and Miami were anybody that's all they ever talked about. So when it doesn't happen, then you instantly go to the, well, wait a minute. What happened here? And that's probably where tampering comes up. It's sour grapes. And can I say one other thing on it? I think that's a bad look from Jimmy Butler. I do. Because it screams weakness. Tell me that video from Jimmy Butler isn't him crying about it. What does that say to the rest of your team? Like, dude, if we don't have Dame now, we're screwed. That's how I take it. And I know Dame is a good player, and you want as many good players on your team, but if you come out the day it happens and you start screaming for the NBA to do something, does that not come off as weak? Does that not come off as a bad message to send? That's not the worst message we'll get to in this today's show. Coming up, Roquan Smith. Good Lord. I think it's a bad mess. I really think Jimmy sent a really bad message to the rest of his team and that organization. If you're going to come out and start crying tampering, bad look. I think it's a bad look.
Alrighty, well, some unfortunate news, but Dumbledore actor Michael Gambon has died at the age of 82, breaking the hearts of many, many Harry Potter fans around the world.
I read the first Harry Potter book whenever it came out in 1999, 2000, whatever. Never really got into it, but I respect it. I respect the Star Wars world, the Harry Potter world. You know, there's a saying I have, and it's kind of even with this show. Find your nerdism. Life's better when you're a nerd about something. You could be a nerd about cars, about war history, Batman, comics. Find your nerdism.
I'm Batman with you, Matt.
Good, yeah. Life is better with it. You have something to put a little time into, read, invest, whatever. So Harry Potter, I get it. And it is one of those things that if I was an actor in Hollywood, all I would want to do is get into Marvel or Harry Potter because, I mean, the legacy, and it's very sad that he passed away, but how much money can be made off of that and just the fact that I think it's something super special when you're an actor and actress and you can say that you were that to a lot of people, he was Dumbledore. Now, the outside, what I know about Harry Potter, isn't there a younger Dumbledore than in what's the Eddie Redmayne stuff, the Fantastic Beasts?
Yeah.
Isn't there a younger Dumbledore in there?
I believe there is,
yeah.
yes.
But for everybody, he was, because in the original series, in the original movies, I guess there's a flip side to that, because every time you see Daniel Radcliffe, you go, oh, hey, there's Harry Potter. It's kind of a tough thing, but super sad to see. Thoughts and prayers certainly out to his family and also the Harry Potter fans out there. Well, Ryan, there's a saying, don't motivate your opponents. Roquan Smith apparently didn't get that message. Because yesterday, at Ravens media availability, he said about maybe the worst thing that you could say to a Browns team, or any team, about coming to play them. Do we have that? Can we get right to it?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
You want to play it?
So yesterday, media availability, Roquan Smith, highly paid linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens, was asked about coming to play in Cleveland. And oh boy, did he give the Browns some bulletin board material. I want to give credit to this as well. This was from Sorry, hang on one second. I just want to give credit. WJZ 13 Sports. So from WJZ Sports in Baltimore, here's Roquan Smith yesterday.
And I play, so I'm excited to get back in there. And I know they're a physical football team, but so are we. Honestly, I love it. I love a challenge. At the end of the day, I love looking something square in the face and saying, bring it on, whatever it is. Chin up, chest out. I live by that. Sunsets, no regrets. So I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait. You're considered the bad guy because you're going into essentially another man's house, and you're trying to take over, like his wife, kids, everyone there to watch them. So we going over to beat their their tails in front of their wife and kids. So when you think about it from that perspective, like any man's gonna, fight to the death from that point. I know if that's me in that case, I know I would. So I think about it from that standpoint, and I'm just going in, just like I prepare for any other game. Play to the whistle, play physical, and hit anything that move.
I don't think you're preparing like any other game, Roquan Smith. You dropped the I'm going to beat their tails in front of their kids and wife? Bad idea, man. If I'm the Browns, I am plastering that everywhere in that facility.
Bulletin board
I
material.
am sending that to every single one of those players that'll take that field on Sunday. Do you know what he just said? He said he's going to come here and beat you in front of your kids and your wife. This just took a whole nother turn. We were talking about the Ravens, how we think we're better, class of the AFC North and all that kind of stuff. You drop that in this type of rivalry anyway? That's why coaches, they don't want their players to say anything. In the media and as in a fan base, we get sick of it sometimes because we want them to say things. So here we are where I'm happy Roquan Smith said that. I really am. But if a Browns player said that about a Ravens player, I'd be like, dude. Now, Baltimore might take the 8 and go like, yeah, man, let's go get him. Yeah, we're going to take him down. Tag every Browns player you know in that video. Tag every single one. Denzel, Miles, MJ. Ooh, did you see the MJ stats this morning?
I didn't.
Top 5 in the NFL. Percentage when targeted. MJ Emerson with the likes of Trevon Diggs. He's up there, man. Good for MJ. Send that to every single one of your players. And I don't know necessarily how Kevin Stefanski, because he's about an even keel as they come. This is one that you need to send it to them. And the Browns will be asked about it today. The Browns will probably be asked at their media availability, and they need to do the right thing. Keep it quiet. Sit on back. This is worse than the Cleveland is Cleveland thing. This is worse than Jamar Chase calling us the elves or whatever it was. This is like, that's borderline personal. Now, Roquan Smith might be sitting there trying to say, well, I'm going to motivate my guys or I'm going to get my guys. Okay, there's another flip side to that coin, though. Of, again, Roquan Smith saying we're going to come there and beat their tails in front of their kids and their wives. I hope the Browns see that. This has always been a physical matchup anyway, and I hate the Ravens. I hate them. I've said that, like, only behind Michigan. I don't like the Steelers, but I respect them. I don't like the Bengals. I semi-respect them. I hate everything about the Ravens. Dude, come on, man. Let's go. I want to go out there now. He's starting to talk crap about me. I literally feel like, Ryan, that he is talking smack to me as a fan, let alone a player. Dude, it might be a real... There's two ways that's going to go. It's going to work and the Ravens are going to be motivated, or the Browns are going to go out there and just shellac the Ravens. Send that to every single player that you have. And really, you can't be doing that. It could work out, but the risk, in my opinion, is not worth the reward. When you start with this, I mean, that's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. For not, hey, man, they're a good team, but we're confident, or we're going to go in there. He brought we're going to beat their tails in front of their wives and their kids. That sounds a little personal. And maybe that's what we need to get this back to. These rivalries with these teams. I said this about Sunday. There's something about flipping the script, about flipping this division to say we are here and we are going to be a team that you got to deal with. For this year, for next year, for the future. But this stuff, like, of course the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Steelers, they just all feel like they own the Browns. They have no reason to feel otherwise. They have. Games like this, that still matter. Because let's call that for what it is, too. That playoff win against the Steelers felt really good. You know when it feels the best is when you beat them when it matters. When you beat them to take over the lead in the division. Yeah, it's only week 4 of the season. I don't care because this game has now taken another step up. It is ramped up that much more with Roquan Smith saying what he said. He's different because he actually has to go out there and write that check. He's got to go out there and play. So it's different of me sitting here talking smack about the Ravens. I'm not out there playing. I have no skin in that game necessarily. I'm a root for the Browns. I'm a Browns fan. But it's different when the players come out. And at least he's going to be, still saying, right? Don't write checks that your body can't cash. He's going to be out there actually trying to do it. But we're going to beat them in front of them. Okay, man.
Those are some fighting words.
Also, all the other cliches. Can you play it back? The cliches that he had to start. What do you say? Sunsets, no regrets. Chin up, chest out. A lot of cliches in there.
You want to play it again?
Yeah, play it again. Roquan Smith yesterday at Ravens practice.
To actually go take over. I think they call it the dog pound. I consider myself a dog,
pause
so
it
I'm
right
right
there.
at home.
Like, you don't know that it's the dog pound. What is with these players acting like they don't know that we have an elf as our logo, that they don't know that the stadium, the one end is the dog pound? Like, you really didn't know that? Did you know that the black hole is out there with the Raiders? Have you ever done a Lambeau leap? No, what's that? Like, you didn't know. I always thought it was weird. They wave these, the towels. They have these towels at the Steelers.
They look terrible, too.
Can I jump on a tangent for a second? Do you know that there are people that sell official Pittsburgh Steelers terrible towels? What makes them official? I could go take a dish rag. I have a yellow dish rag at my house that I actually clean my dog's feet. Every time he comes in from outside when it's wet, I have a yellow dish towel. I just grab it and I just wipe his feet off. What if I just wrote terrible towel, official terrible towel? Not that I want one. It's probably why I use it to wipe my dog's feet off with. But like, that you can sell officially. Do you go to Steelers games and go, look at that poser over there? That's not an official terrible towel.
I heard Tito clean the poop off his scooter with the terrible towel.
You should. You really should. And they charge 15, 20 odd some bucks for those things. Did you know that they got this towel thing? They played Renegade there, I think. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail Roquan Smith again. Seriously, it comes off so cheesy and phony. I said that with Jamar Chase, the elf thing. Like, you didn't know that we had an elf logo? Really? If that's the low-hanging fruit for you, fine. But to go to, they have a dog pound? I think it's the dog pound. Come on. All right, Roquan Smith yesterday at Browns practice. He didn't know we have a dog pound, I guess.
And I play, so I'm excited to get back in there. And I know they're a physical football team, but so are we. Honestly, I love it. I love a challenge. At the end of the day, I love looking something square in the face and saying, bring it on, whatever it is. Chin up, chest out. I live by that. Sunsets, no regrets. So I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait. You're considered the bad guy because you're going into essentially another man's house, and you're trying to take over, like his wife, kids, everyone there to watch them. So we going over to beat their tails in front of their wife and kids. So when you think about it from that perspective, like any man's gonna, fight to the death from that point. I know if that's me in that case, I know I would. So I think about it from that standpoint, and I'm just going in, just like I prepare for any other game. Play to the whistle, play physical, and hit anything that move.
He's trying to play the underdog card here, right? We're going on the road. It's a tough place to play. Their families are there. He's trying to drum up that. Okay, fine. The thing is that nothing is going right for the Ravens right now. That sounds like when teams that are really good, they try to find the underdog part of it. Bill Belichick has made a career for that. Everybody knows the story about Monday night, or was it Monday or Sunday night football, and he went to the team and he said, you don't need to introduce us. That's okay. It's your night. And then went back in the locker room and said, you're getting disrespected. They're not even going to introduce you. Bill Belichick is the master at creating the underdog mentality when you are one of the best teams in football. Right? And that's something that you need to create. There's two ways that you approach it as a team, in my opinion. When you're a really good football team, you take the tact of the 49ers, in my opinion, the Dolphins, and even the Chiefs. We are damn good, and we have goals on this team, and no one is going to stop us from reaching our goals. That's number one. Number two is, we're really good, but man, we still have this underdog chip on our shoulder, and they still don't give us the respect that we deserve, and we're going to go out there and take it. Obviously, Roquan Smith is going with the second one. Nobody's respecting us. We got to go in there and take things that are ours. That's a positive for the Browns because clearly he sees the Browns as the better team. Does he not? Like, we're going to go in there and try to take this from them. Okay. You want to read that it's just them going on the road in a road game. Okay, sure, fine. What's going on with the Ravens right now that makes you feel good about that? Half of your defense is on the injury report. Play that card. It'd have been better off for Roquan Smith to play we're really banged up right now and no one's giving us a chance, but I'm here to tell you we're going to fight in this game and we're going to be a competitive team even if these guys don't play. Play that card as your motivation. At least you're not pissing off the other team. And the Browns, specifically with how they do things on defense, I don't want to piss them off. Something's telling me you don't want that D-line of the Browns to find that out. And it's different because Roquan Smith doesn't play against our defense. He's playing against our offense. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate that very much. That will make the rounds in Berea. And he did it on Wednesday, Ryan. You got 2 full days to get that.
A lot of time to let that sink in.
It's gonna go around. And I can't wait to hear the Browns. They'll have their media availability a little afternoon today. It'll get brought up. Yeah, now, and also it's getting picked up on social media now. It's everywhere now. This video's out. Good, dude. Fine, that's fine. And I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't like a little spice to it, little something, right? Because again, the Bengals brought that. Browns knew about it. Browns took care of business. There's a little spice to this now. There's a little added to this, in addition to being a big game. Now you got somebody talking smack. And the one thing. Kevin Stefanski, his teams play well at home. They do. He plays well at home. Big game Sunday. It was already a big game, and Roquan Smith just added that little more sprinkle to it.
Matt, I need to see the Tipico odds on if the Browns win, who the first Browns player to tweet or quote about that will be. My money's on Greg Newsom.
Greg Newsom was my pick, too. I don't know if we could get that on Tipico with our great friends at Tipico, but the first Browns player to make mention, who's pretty active on Greg Newsom's active on social media. Miles certainly is.
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
JOK is a good answer there. He's a good answer there. Yeah, I know Greg Newsom came to mind. He was the first guy for me, too. He really was. He was. Scrappy, man. I think it could be a little scrap there for Sunday. I love it. All right, we'll get into Time Hop when we return. I already gave you a little hint, Ryan, on one of our Time Hop items for today. We'll see what it is. We do have one movie for you today. A couple of baseball things to get to. We had the exploration thing the other day with Sir Francis Drake. I have another exploration thing from 1542. We'll go back in history. Excited? Good. We'll get to that. Time Hop coming your way just in 3 minutes. Stay with us right here, Fontana Show on Big Play. All right, let's dive into a little bit of time hop here on the 28th of September. We are slipping away, Ryan, for September. One more, well, for
Getting
the
those
weekend.
Halloween costume ideas ready.
Actually, very much so. And tomorrow, a little bit of a special anniversary in a way. Tomorrow, we will be doing the show for exactly 1 month.
Doesn't feel that long.
Does not feel that long, but here we are on the 28th of September, 10:33. Your time this morning right here on the Matt Fontana Show. If you are new to Time Hop, basically what we do is we go back this day in history and tell you what happened, including 4 years ago today. Ohio State, number 5 in the nation, beat Nebraska 48-7. Do you think Matt Rule will get Nebraska figured out or no?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. This day, 2008, the Mets played their final home game at Shea Stadium. That's why we've talked, because we did Yankee Stadium in time not too long ago. Not too many legacy ones left, except Fenway, which I think they need to tear down, except Wrigley, which I think they need to tear down. Dodger Stadium, but nonetheless. All right. We'll get to TV shows. I'm going to add a little something to a TV show a little bit later. This day, 1996, if you would have watched Tom Brady's first pass as a collegiate athlete, you would have thought he sucked, but he actually didn't. He threw a pick six in his first ever collegiate pass, which happened this day, 1996. Turned out to be pretty good at the end of it. This day, 1986, the Browns beat the Lions 24-21. In this game, Gerald Ice Cube McNeil set the Browns record with an 84-yard touchdown return on a punt. Punt return touchdown for 84 yards. That is now 5th in Browns history, behind 2 from Eric Metcalf, 1 from Dennis Northcutt, and 1 from Travis Benjamin. I'm shocked Josh never had one. Yeah. I mean, he's got the kickoffs, and that's just length of a punt return. Travis Benjamin has the record with a 93-yard punt return for a touchdown. Wait, how long was Donovan's last year?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I have to look that up, because that might be it. I don't know. We'll see. This day, 1960, Ted Williams had a home run in his final at-bat. I wonder if Miggy will do that Sunday.
How poetic.
Would you chalk him up one just to do it because it's Miggy?
No.
Or would you go, no, you'd rather strike him out in his final one?
For sure.
I think in baseball, the one thing you don't ever want to be is the guy that gives up like Barry Bonds 715 or 3,000 or something like that.
Or a Bartolo Colon home run.
Yeah, that's true too. You probably don't want to be on that list either. This day, 1955, the first ever color TV broadcast of the World Series was on NBC, the Yankees and the Dodgers. I mean, it's crazy. So again, that was 1955. So we're closer to 100 years than not of that. But still, like, that was just color TV. Now I have this little thing that I get crystal clear 4K, like, it's just insane. I'm waiting for when are we going to get live sports in 4K? Because everybody says that it's coming or that it'll be there, but the bandwidth that is needed, the transmit, all that kind of stuff is crazy. I mean, we have 1080, which is great, but I feel like we've been stuck in 1080 for a long time.
Just wait till we get that Neuralink and we're doing everything with our minds.
There will be a day that I hope that I'm still here. And that's a thing where everybody's got like a implant in their wrist or an implant in their head.
See, I don't want that at all.
I'm not doing it. That's my point. Is that we'll be there, right? And there's great things like I've read stories about people that are unfortunately paralyzed, right? And they are actually putting a transmitter in their head to then transmit remotely to their injured, like beyond their injury, down to their legs and helping them walk again. Like that is absolutely incredible. That's amazing. But as far as, yeah, we're going to put a chip in your head, so instead of pulling up Wikipedia to Google something or pull something up, you just do it in your head. Like, no. I'm out.
Seen that one too many times.
This thing rules our lives more than it should anyway. I ain't putting it in my head, man.
Nope.
Oh, if you just put this thing in your wrist and then all of a sudden you just know, what? No. But first color television broadcast, this day 55 of the World Series. Ironically, also Ted Williams, this day 1941, he finished the season with 6 hits and 8 at-bats to end the season with a .406 batting average.
Not too bad.
The last player, and I feel pretty confident in saying it will be the last forever, the last player to hit 400 for a season. It's crazy to see the AL, like, I watch most of the Guardians games, and the ticker on the bottom. And they'll do, score updates, but then they run through the AL batting leaders or the AL strikeout leaders. I mean, the AL batting leaders this year, what are they, like what was Bo Bichette for a while? Okay, so in all of MLB, Luis Arraez is 353. That's respectable. Ronald Acuna, 336. Freddie Freeman, Corey Seager, 333. Yandy Diaz at 328. So those are okay. Here's the thing, Ryan. There are only, in all of baseball, there are only 9 players batting above 300. And I guess I grew up in an era where 300 was a mark. Now, you're damn good. I always thought 300 was a good mark. But you only have 9 guys with an outside chance that Bryce Harper could get there. He's batting 296 going into last weekend. I just want to go back. See if I can go back here. 2007 regular season. Dude. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What did I say? 8?
9.
9. I'm sorry, 9. Ryan, I go back to 2007. The year I graduated from beautiful Brunswick, Ohio. Brunswick High School. There were 40 guys that batted 300 or better. 40. 40. The other stat from the game last night that Rick and Matt and Andre brought up, this year in baseball, there will only be 3 pitchers, 3 that will pitch 200 or plus innings. A couple of years ago, it was over 30. Baseball's taking a weird turn, man. Starting pitchers aren't pitching anymore. No one hits anymore. Again, this year there will be 9 guys, 9 that finished with a 300 batting average or better. 2007, there were 40. But, back to Ted Williams batting 400. That's never happening again. This day, 1920, a grand jury indicted the 8 members of the Chicago Black Sox in the scandal of fixing games. Charles Kaminsky, the owner of the White Sox, immediately suspends all of them. I mean, sports betting's everywhere. That's always going to be the stories, but nothing will be like that. Mention an exploring thing in time hop again. This day, 1542, explorer Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo discovered California. He landed in what is today San Diego, becoming the first European to set foot on the West Coast. So it's not like he went across America. He went down and around and just landed in what San Diego is today. Those, like we did it the other day with France. We're going to leave for 3 years with 5 boats. 100 people are going to die. We'll come back with 1 boat. We'll see how it goes. Just out there, just sailing. Where are we going? I don't know. Just keep going that way. Oh, wow. We ran into some land. What is this? What are these animals that we've never seen before? Wait, there's people here too? Oh, my God. What's going on? A whole new world. We're just trying to get over to go get some spices. Wait, this isn't? Wait a minute. Crazy times. Obviously, we were not there for. Very happy birthday goes out to Steve Largent, former Cavaliers, Jose Calderon, the Wild Thing, Anderson Varejao, former Browns linebacker, and isn't he the insider trading guy? Michael Kendricks, remember him? Mm-mm. I think it was him. He's got a brother, Eric. They both play. I can't remember which one it is. I think he got popped for insider trading. Let me see. He played for the Browns. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was him. Yeah, it was him. So he signed with the Browns in 2018. He was released in training camp after he got charged with insider trading. In August of 2018, Kendricks was charged with insider trading after allegedly making $1.2 million in investments a few years prior. He allegedly paid a guy $10,000 and gave him free tickets to Eagles games for this insider trading. He faced a penalty of up to 25 years. He was sentenced to 1 day in jail, 3 years of probation, and 300 hours of community service. And I could only assume had to give that money back. I know what insider trading is. I just don't know. It's probably ignorance is bliss, right, Ryan? We would probably just stay away from that. Like somebody gives you a tip. If you get a tip, you get a tip, man. I don't know what to tell you. Ed Sullivan, Hillary Duff, and Bam Margera all celebrating your birthdays on the way out. All right, one movie and one not necessarily movie. It's not a TV show, but I'll have you guess on it anyway. This day, 2001, if I said Blue Steel.
That sounds eerily familiar. Blue Steel?
Blue Steel, and I give you this look. Sorry, more on the lips.
Like Nicolas Cage.
No, it's not Nicolas Cage. Blue Steel. It's the Blue Steel. Derek was working on it forever.
Who's Derek?
Derek. He's Derek from the movie. Hansel. Mugatu. Nothing?
I know.
Zoolander. You ever see Zoolander? Obviously, you haven't seen it. No.
Okay.
Ben Stiller, Owen
Yeah,
Wilson,
I know
Christine
all
Taylor, and then,
about
of
it.
course, Will Ferrell as Mugatu.
I know all about it.
Blue
but
Steel.
That's actually one of those movies that I have
They
actually
smashed
never
the
gotten around
computer.
to.
Oh, that's Zoolander. This day, 2001. And then it's not a TV show. It's not a movie. And I gave you a little hint earlier. Did you pick up on the hint?
Yeah.
What is it?
Pokemon?
Red and Blue, both released this day, 1998.
Great game.
As a child of the 90s, man, I cannot tell you how many hours I spent.
Okay, so are you team Squirtle, team Bulbasaur, or team
Charmander.
Charmander.
Nobody takes Bulbasaur. And actually, I just got in this debate with my brother-in-law about it. Nobody likes Bulbasaur. Okay? Nobody. You could take Squirtle because your first gym, you got to beat Brock, and he was all rock, and water was beating rocks. I could get that. When they all evolved, you're telling me you didn't want Charizard? Come on, man. Charmander was the only way to go in that game. The best. So that's the original, on the original Game Boy Color. One of my happiest days of childhood was the day my mom finally got me a Game Boy. Because my best friend growing up, he had one. I didn't have one yet. And I'd go to Ryan's house, ironically Ryan, my best friend growing up, and he'd be like, all right, man, let's go ride bikes. Let's go swim in the pool. I'd be like, no, I just want to play. I would take his Game Boy from him and just play. So my parents finally got me one. Bro, hours. And I had red. I didn't get blue. But I have a cartridge because I still have all this stuff. And I have all 151 Pokemon on it. I don't think it's worth anything. Like, I've tried to research it because you could get them all just by playing the game over and over again. But I also got it by cheating. So back and then they would send out the books and I would cheat and I would get unlimited Master Balls, which you could catch just everything, and unlimited rare candy. So I would just up the Pokemon without actually playing the game. Cheated my ass off. But there's people that it's a nostalgia. We were talking about nostalgia earlier, right? You can go on like websites and watch, Twitch, right? People play video games on Twitch. I watch people do speed runs of Red and Blue, original OG Pokemon Red and Blue. And they try to do a speed run over a couple hours to complete the game. You watch them play the game now. Like when I was playing, I was 10, 11 years old. And I was like, I didn't know. Like half the stuff that they do, I had no idea. They actually would use perks and stuff to win battles. Me, I'm just mashing buttons going, wait a minute, how can I lose? Red and Blue. What a time. A little before, obviously, your time. Dude, the Pokemon craze was something like I had never seen ever. And I frankly haven't seen yet. They tried Yu-Gi-Oh! And all that kind of stuff. It was everything. Grown adults getting into fights at the stores to get packets of these cards. They gave out the trinkets. They gave Burger King. I'll never forget this. Burger King had a deal with Pokemon. You go to Burger King and you would get a kid's meal or you get a Whopper or whatever, and you would get a Pokemon toy. The line at Burger King was to the street. And people, I'm sure they ate the food. They didn't want the food. There was somebody that told me a story that the Burger King in Brunswick got broken into, and they didn't steal anything except the Pokemon, the toys, the little toys that they wanted to get. Do you know what Pokemon stands for?
I've heard it before, but no, I
Pocket Monsters.
Pocket Monster.
That's like how it originally started in like Japan, made its way over here. I know it's still like super big, and you still see these Charizard cards going for hundreds of thousands of dollars and stuff like that. But it all started this day, 1990. And granted, it took a little time to get over to America, but this day, 1998, Pokemon Red and Blue were released. And then they did Yellow, because the problem was with Red and Blue, you could only get half of the Pokemon on either one, because what they wanted you to do was go buy the other one, and then you'd have to transfer over the ones. Then they made Yellow that you could get them all, and like, Pikachu was always just following you around because of the TV show and that kind of stuff. Damn, man, I want to play Red and Blue now. It's easy to do. You just go online. You just go to, they have emulators now.
Yep.
Just go there and play.
Do it right on your phone.
I still have my Sega Genesis. I still have my Sega Dreamcast. Like, there's a day, my wife and I did this during the pandemic when everything was locked down. There was one day that it was just a Saturday. I made us a brunch like buffet in a Bloody Mary bar in our basement. We sat there for 8 hours playing Sega Genesis. It was one of my favorite days. And it was just like Jurassic Park and Mario Andretti Racing and Sonic and Knuckles. And there's a day, my kids are too young. My son's only 2. But in a couple of years, I'm like, sit on down. Let Pop show you a little bit about what it was like in the 90s. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. Sit on down. Let me tell you about Sonic and Knuckles. This guy here is Tails. Nobody really likes him, but that's okay. Sonic and Knuckles was a GOAT game. Sonic, because the other thing about that was you had the cartridge. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, you remember the cartridge here. Yeah. The Sonic and Knuckles game, you could open the top and then you put Sonic 2 on top of it. You could play Knuckles in Sonic 2.
Wow.
Revolutionary.
Quite
come 1997.
Back then.
1997. Best thing we had going, man. In 16-bit, you're only going this way on the screen, never go up and down. Batman, oh, come on.
My kind of like game like that for me when I was young was Sly Cooper.
Sly Cooper was a great game. Loved that. Absolutely. Absolutely. But red and blue. Just because we got into it earlier, I'm going to look this up. Pokemon Red unsealed price. So this is pricecharting.com, or actually probably sealed, not unsealed, but sealed. So I can get on eBay right now and buy either red or blue for $30. Authentic, tested, it's good to go. On eBay right now, Ryan, on a scale of 100, a sealed Pokemon Red game that came out this day, 1998, $15,000.
Yep, I believe it.
Graded on an 80 from VGA. I gotta say, I thought it might be a little bit more. Not that I'm going to go buy it right now, but $15,000. Hey, good news! Free shipping.
Really getting your bang for your buck.
Ships from LA on free expedited shipping. All right, great stuff. Sealed yellow, $1,600. Another factory sealed one for $13,000. Huh. And I will admit too, because I'm of an era, I only do the original 150. Like when they got beyond that and they started doing like, what was it, green? And then they got like the silver and stuff like that.
Platinum and diamond.
Yeah, I'm out. All the new ones, I don't know. But yes, what a time. What a time. I want to go home and play Pokemon. But to do that, hey, I'll tell you what, let's get some bets on Tipico. We'll raise the $15,000 and I'll buy this Pokemon Red sealed edition right here.
We'll play it in the office every day.
Let's do it right now. Oh, dude, wouldn't that be fun? Yeah. We need to talk about that of like, I'm a gamer. Are you a gamer?
Yeah. I used to be a lot heavier, but I still am.
Life gets in the way. Trust me, I know that with 2 kids. But eventually, like, not now because it's football season, but in the off season, like, get that going. We have a YouTube channel. We have all that kind of stuff. Like, Ryan and I will just maybe we'll link up and game a little bit.
I would love it.
We'll
I love it.
Fun, just hang out with the fans, kind of chill. But right now, we're going to get you our bets for tonight, Thursday Night Football, with our friends at Tipico. It is a road favorite for the Detroit Lions. I should have looked this up. When's the last time the Lions were favored in Lambeau?
9,000 years ago?
Yeah, something. I don't know. It's a long time ago. But here we are with our friends at Tipico. Get signed up for Thursday Night Football tonight. The line is moved to 2. Money coming in on the Lions. Big Play Sports Network is presented by our great friends at Tipico. Get locked in. Big Play 150 is the code. You get the $150 bonus bets. You get a $30 dog pound bet for the future. And really get loaded up for football season. Ryan and I had a great weekend of picks last weekend. We'll get to our picks tomorrow for this upcoming. But for tonight, 2-point spread. Over-under is 45.5. Ryan, you know me in Thursday Night Football.
I do.
Take the under. That's a high 45. I like it. Here's some of our boosts of the day. Wow, this is a big one. Lions score 40 and win by 5 is boosted to plus 250. Love prevails. A boost to plus 470. Jordan Love, 2 passing touchdowns. The Packers win the fourth quarter and win the game. Ooh, I kind of like that. The Lions to get a sack in every quarter is plus 270. 3 players to score a touchdown of this group. Jamar Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Dillon and Christian Watson. Just 3 of those guys to score a touchdown is plus 400. And then winning time, the fourth quarter to be the highest scoring quarter is plus 250. There's all our boosts. I like the under, but I also like Aaron Jones. Anytime touchdown scorer tonight, he's back. They know that their best offense is when he scores a touchdown. I'm kind of smelling a little parlay in this.
Me too, Matt.
All right. Booking it right now. Okay. Aaron Jones plus 125 anytime touchdown score. I'm going to take the Packers -3, which I like. Will they let me parlay it with the under?
-3 or +3?
-3. Alternate spread.
Okay.
I think the Packers win tonight.
Okay.
I think the Packers win tonight. Under 45.5. I could parlay this. I'm in on a parlay. I want one more. Give me player passing. Jordan Love over 229. Do you think Love gets over 200 tonight?
Yeah, I do.
All right, I can boost that. It's -280 on itself, but if I boost it, dude, I'm up to 897 on a 4-leg parlay for tonight. Aaron Jones, anytime touchdown score, Packers -3, under the 45, and Jordan Love for 200-plus passing yards. I think I'm in for that. I think I'm in for that tonight. I like it very much. Ryan, what do you got cooked over there with Tipico?
All right, I got a little 3-leg parlay here for Thursday night. I'm rolling with the Packers +2. I could see them winning outright. I expect it to be a close battle in Lambeau. I have the Aaron Jones touchdown anytime. He's coming back. Definitely the centerfold of their offense. And then I'm rolling with an alternate point total of over 40.5. I think that's very manageable. I expect that to go over. So you can wager $50 and you get a nice payday of $245. It's a plus 390 parlay.
I don't like when we're split on the over-under, man. I don't like that. Got to have the good vibes.
I could see it being a 21. They should be able to get 21 apiece.
All right. Now you got me rethinking it. I got to think about the under. So I'm going to throw. Here's the best thing, folks. When you don't know, just do the Tipico, because then you get the bonus bets. You just throw them in there. Get it done. Thursday Night Football will be great tonight. We appreciate everybody joining us today. Back for a Football Friday edition tomorrow of the show from 9 to 11. We are scorching on our picks after last weekend, so we'll get that. Sonny Gupta going to join us from Tipico. We'll get geared up, get ready to go for what is going to be a huge game. Browns, Ravens, Roquan Smith talking smack. It's going to be great. Don't forget Chico's show coming up from noon to 2 today. You can get that on the iHeart app. Check out Chico's show on social media, on the YouTube page as well. If you missed any of our shows, go back to the podcast, Apple Podcast, and Spotify, and replays of the day. Ours got shifted back a little on the iHeart app, so I think we're 7 o'clock now, or 5 to 7, I think what we're at on the iHeart app on a replay. So catch it all there. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you joining us today. Enjoy the game tonight. We both like the Packers, though. Like it to get it done. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana, and as always, take it easy.